Yes, it's great to be here tonight. The reason we came to Arizona this time, Darrell and I think we're coming to see them, but we really come to see the grandkids. So now that we got one in Tennessee, we don't have to come hardly as often. But anyway, let me say this, it is great to be here tonight, and we are here for one reason. That is because of Darrell and Crystal's 25th anniversary. This thing goes back a while. You know, in life, God gives you sometimes your heart's wishes. Now, we grew up, I grew up, and Faye grew up. By the way, let me give you this before I go any farther. I'm going to give you a date, and I don't want you to forget it. Especially, don't let Darrell and Crystal forget it. May the 6th, 2017 will be our 50th wedding anniversary. That's where it all started. But anyway, I am thankful to be here tonight. I'm very proud to be here with Darrell and Crystal. You know, they say you look at the parents and you kind of determine how their sons and daughters are going to turn out. Crystal looked at me and said, "Darrell must be good, so I want him." Right, Crystal? But anyway, listen, it's been God has given me two of the greatest granddaughters, or not granddaughters too, but the greatest daughter-in-laws that a man could ever have. Crystal was never considered a daughter-in-law. She was always considered a daughter. God led us to Morristown. I've told you this story before, and some of you may have not heard it, but God led us to Morristown. I had no reason to move, but God led us to Morristown, and we joined Morristown Baptist Tabernacle. And Darrell and Crystal was the first visit that I made outside the church. She was the first young lady that I met. When I knocked the door, she came to the door. She was a softball player, dressed in her softball uniform. And we just became, with her mom and dad. Her mom and dad, I'm not sure the whole story why they weren't coming to church right at the time. Just going to Buffalo Trail, I believe. Is that right? She don't remember. She thought she didn't remember. She's been married 25 years. So anyway, I look over. But anyway, we got to be the best friends with her mom and dad. They got to be our best friends. So I got to watch Crystal grow up from a young girl. I also got to watch my other daughter-in-law grow up as a young child. And I'm really thankful for that. I always wanted a girl. And we had two boys. I always said I wanted a daughter. Well, God didn't give us a daughter, but we believe we got one in heaven. We lost our first one. We still have the little pink dress that was bought for her at a baby shower that we lost. So I've kept that dress. So I feel like I've got that girl in heaven. So it's been very, God has really blessed me with two great daughter-in-laws. And they're, like I said, they're not considered daughter-in-laws, they're considered daughters. I couldn't love them any more than I could my own daughter, my own flesh and blood. And if the boys done them wrong, I would stand for the girls. I would stand for right, regardless. I would fight for them. If I had to fight the boys for them, because that's how much we care for them. It's been a good experience in my life. Now, I want to talk about some things tonight, and I probably won't. Brother Grover said he had to leave at 8, so. Right. He said he left, whether his mind left, whether his body did or not. Marriage is a very important thing in this life and day and time we live in, and you know that. The Bible has a lot to say about marriage and about the relationship between man and women. And I know that we're living in times today when it seems that it's lost its importance. How we raise our children, does it have an influence on the generations to come on how our children are raised? What impact does it have? As I look at you all tonight, I'm sure there's parents, there's grandparents, and probably great-grandparents here in the room tonight. What kind of influence do we have on future generations? I mean, you go back to Genesis. Let me give you a couple of verses here. The Bible says that these are nothing new. I have nothing new that you haven't heard. It says that God blessed them, and God said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth on the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb of the sea, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree which is the fruit of the tree, yield seed to you, it shall be believed." The Bible talks about, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female. Chapter 2, verse 24 says, that therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. You know, Darrell will tell you this. I'm proud of, I have to brag on him just a little bit. I taught my boys one thing. I don't care what you do your best. Darrell will tell you, I never accepted anything less than his best when he was growing up. And it didn't matter. When we moved to Morristown, we rented a house. And it had to be painted. And Darrell was there, we were there before Favor came down. The house we rented had to be painted. So Darrell was doing the painting while I was doing the work. Well, he got to playing around with a neighbor boy that he had met, and they kind of didn't do too good. So he got to do the job over. So I believe in teaching and training a child to do their very best in life, do their very best. And God says that a man is to leave and to cleave. We have never interfered with our children's marriage in any way, shape, or form. I will not let anyone talk about either one of my boys or their wives. Because, you know, we're not all perfect. We've all had problems in our lives. And I don't know their problems. I don't need to know their problems. I just know they need to take it to God and let God work it out. So I've never tried to mingle or anything with their marriage. I believe when he got married, it was time for him to leave home and cleave to their wives. That's what God said a man is to do. Before Darrell and Crystal was married, like I said, Crystal, we had a great time. She was a teenager. Our families were the best of friends. But here's the main thing that happened. We came from the same background. We came out of Independent Baptist Church, both of my daughter-in-laws and their father. We have been family. We've not been divided. I hear stories all the time about in-laws, mother-in-laws, and father-in-laws. You hear all these war stories. Well, they're not all bad. They can be very good. They can be very good. So, as I stand before you, this is our 25th anniversary, and I'm proud to be here for that very reason. That Darrell was taught to leave and to cleave. Before they were engaged, Darrell had made sure that he had a place to live. He bought a house before they was ever married. And he had it in place before he asked Crystal to marry. I can tell you a lot of stories. You know, we sat down here a week ago and we started going through pictures. I did, Faye did, we got hundreds of pictures. Darrell, if you go online and listen, Darrell spoke at the Crown College while he was in. If you go online and watch that, he talked about a negative. We have pictures that have negatives. Do y'all remember the negatives? Yeah. We've got a lot of those pictures that still have negatives. So we sat down and we started looking through, I started sitting down and Faye did too. We were looking for certain pictures. We started looking at pictures. And I got to looking and thinking about the good times that God has allowed me to have. Not only did God give me 2 great daughter-in-laws, God gave me 7 great grandkids. The only thing that I can take with me when I leave this life is my own family. I can't take anything else. God has made it possible that each one of my grandkids will tell you they're saved. And only God knows, but all of them admit that they're saved and they know if they die they're going to heaven. That to me is far more than anything that I could have in this life. It's a knowing that they're going to one day that we'll all be together in heaven. And that's what I want for my family. That's what I want for my kids. You know, we talk about how much we influence and how God blesses and things like this. Let me back up and give you a little thing or two, just to help you out. How many things do you see within your kids that is in your life or you saw from your dad's life? You wonder, how can these things happen? Well, my dad, and we came in, Faye came from totally different backgrounds. She came from a very loving family. I had the best in-laws that a person could ever have. In life, I had the very best that life could ever give. But we came from totally different backgrounds. My dad, and I've told you this, it's hard to say, but my dad was an alcoholic. He drank. The family life was not what it was perfect in no way. We wouldn't take it to church. We didn't go to church. But thank God that he saw me through that. And today, because of the way I was raised, I think I'm what I am because instead of drawing me to, it forced me away from all the things that I saw growing up. It made me want to be a better person. That should always be our goal, is to be a better person. A better person. But we can't, but by saying that, my dad was a very talented man. Back when I was growing up, he could weld, he was a carpenter, he was a plumber, he was an electrician. He could do just about anything that he wanted to do. He's a mechanic. So as a young kid, I was by his side, not realizing what it would do for me in the future. When I was 12 years old, because of my dad's influence, I could build a 6-cylinder Chevrolet engine as good as any mechanic ever picked up a wrench, because I had been exposed to that. So I was able to do those things later. I could bring things a little bit, some things a little farther along than my dad did. Then Darrell come along, and we worked side by side. Me and Darrell could fuss and fight, and people think they're going to fight. They're going to fight. Because that's just the way we were. But we weren't really fighting. We were just making our thoughts plain to each other. but we were allowed, God allowed us to work side by side and do a lot of things. We mechanic, we built some motors, we done carpenter work, we done a lot of things. But I worked a tremendous amount of hours while my kids were young. And thank God for my wife that was able to take care of the kids and do things while I was on the road traveling, working a lot of hours. There was no such thing as a 40-hour job. It was 60 or better, 60 or 80 hours sometimes that I was just gone from home. But when I was home, I tried to spend time with the kids, but we always went to church. We always went to church. I am so thankful. Not one time in my life, and not one time in the lives of my grandkids, has their parents had to say and make their kids go to church. They were always ready to go. There was no question. Why even say it? Because there was no question. We were going to go to church. So I thank God that God allowed my kids to grow up in church. And I'm glad that God allowed my kids to meet the people that they've met and to marry and the families that they've got and what God has given me. God has given me far more than what I deserve. And God, like I said, I wanted girls. And God didn't give us girls, but He gave me some wonderful grandkids and wonderful father-in-laws. To me, that's very special. But as we go on, let me say one more thing. The Bible says to train up a child in the way that he should go, he will not depart from it. Now, I won't take all the credit. I'm going to share something with you. When Darrell was little, he had a habit of doing something. Well, this is going back to my mother-in-law. Darrell would go out, regardless of where he was at, he would pick up old rusty nails and bolts and all this kind of stuff. And he'd put them in his pocket. So you never knew what he was going to have when he went to change his clothes. Well, my mother-in-law said, you leave Darrell alone and let him do that. Like I said, train up a child in the way they should go, and he'll not depart from it. And I think he's done a pretty good job with Jacob. So, with that, I'll share that a little bit with you. I will give my mother-in-law credit for that part of the thing. Okay? But anyway, that's some things that's happened, and I'm thankful that for what God has done in our lives. But the Bible talks about training up a child. What is training up a child? What is training up a child? You might have got, what is you train up a child? You train up a child in a lot of areas of his life. You train him in a lot of different areas of his life. First of all, I think you need to train a child when he's old enough to work. I think today, in this society that we live in, our young kids are not being taught to work. I had to work to survive at a very young age. I do not regret anything that I ever done. Darrell came along and Darrell had to work. He went to work. I helped him get a car, but I never bought $1 worth of gas or paid $1 worth of insurance. Because I want him to realize that life is not a free ride. Darrell and Crystal had to move in with us one time for about 6 months, I think a few months, because they had sold their place and was moving, and they couldn't move because of the weather. It was wintertime. moved in, and I tell this, but this is the truth. When they moved in, if they'll tell you, I said, this is not a free ride. You pay your part while you're here, groceries or whatever the bills are. Your part of it you'll have to pay. That wasn't because we couldn't pay them. It's just because I didn't want them to get in a rut and think, well, I'm not going to do that. I didn't do that. I would die for my kids. I'd do anything I could for them. But I wanted them to know that their life is not a free ride. You have to earn and do to be successful in life. You've got to make your way. And that's what I try to teach my boys. You've got to work. My boys are different. They like North. They're totally different. You'll never have two just alike. Darling Crystal's got three, but they're not alike. By no means. They're all different. But you've got to give them room to grow in what God has made them to be. You can't smother a child together. You've got, and I'm talking to you about these young kids and these parents here in the church. Listen, I have a great desire. I am for family, 100% for family. I am for young kids. You look at me, I'm 69 years old. Thank God God has been really good to me in my life. I have no complaints, none whatsoever. But I still love kids, and I still love teenagers. I have a great desire and a heart for young people. And I want to see your kids, your grandkids, or whatever, to have what God has for them. But it takes all of us working together to train up a child in the way that he should go when he gets older, so that he will not depart from it. You know, the one thing that I don't want, if you go back and study in Exodus, it talks about the sin to be passed down to the third and fourth generation. What do we have to pass down to the third and fourth generation if Christ don't come? It's what you're sitting here in church for today. What do you want to pass on to your kids? Society says today, this kind of bothers me a little bit sometimes. I see church people, good church people, who've got kids. They do not encourage their kids to get involved in anything that's Christian as far as their education. They want them to go to college. They want them to make money. A lot of marriages are made because they look at the other one and say that he's got money. They want their daughter to marry a rich man. They want their son to marry a rich woman. But that don't bring happiness in marriage. It don't bring happiness. I'll let stand here and tell you that me and Faith never had a problem or a word or a fight or anything. You see, God's done great work in my life. There was a time that I was pretty high strung, and you didn't want to bite me in a corner. But I thank God that over the years He has mellowed me out and took a lot of that out of my life. Because she stayed faithful to me. I don't know how she done it sometime. And you notice whenever y'all was singing for Darrell, it was him that was shouting. He's just thinking Crystal stuck with him. It wouldn't. I noticed she wasn't doing a whole lot with the girls. She stuck with him. She stuck with him. But let me say this. As we go forward, we are to teach our children. How do we teach our children? You know, the one thing that I tried to do whenever I was teaching teenagers, and I still do, when I talk to them, I don't do it as much as I used to, I don't have an opportunity to, but I always took the teenagers to Proverbs. Are you encouraging your grandkids and all to read the Proverbs? I always try to tell the young girl to go to Proverbs, chapter 30, 31, 3 verses 10 on there. The value is God on you. You've read the verses, you know what they say. It says that, let me go there just a minute, and if I can find it. If the Bible puts a value on virtue, the Bible talks about the man who finds a virtuous girl, says her value is far more than you. Said her husband can trust in her. He don't have to worry about it. If he's away from her, he don't have to worry about it. He knows that he can trust in her. We need to be raising our young people today, our young ladies and our young men, to know that they can be that we can trust, that we can be trusted. That the spouse or whatever God does for them, that the other spouse or whatever can trust in them. I have to say this. And I'll say this about Crystal. I've watched Crystal, like I said, I've been honored to watch her grow up as a teenager. And I'm telling you, we had some great times. We had some great fun. As I pull pictures, and I begin to look back to things we done. We went on vacation with her parents. Bristol, when I taught her, when she started skiing, I drove the boat. I love to do the driving. They love to do the skiing. First time we pulled Crystal in the water and she popped out of the water on the skis, she wouldn't turn loose. She said, I'm not following in this water. So I look back and see those pictures. I had to stop the boat before she'd go down, before she'd get in the water. But anyway, I look back at those pictures and I think, thank God for those good times, those good memories and all. But the Bible says that we're to, let me find something here right quick. Go back sometime and just think about the good times of life. Think about your children. Think about your childhood. Think what you want to leave and you want kids to see in your life. What do you want them to remember you when you're gone? Is it going to be because you left them $1 million? You know, kids don't appreciate that. My grandkids will tell you this. We don't spend a lot of money on my grandkids. But I'll assure you this. They know they're loved. Far more to me important than any money or anything that I can buy. I've never been one. I will not try to buy their love or their respect. But I think they all know that they're loved very dearly. And I think they love us back for that very reason, because we try to be honest with them. I never let the kids come to my house and run over things in our house. I hear grandparents say, let my grandkids come, I'd like to see them leave. Well, I love for mine to come and stay. If y'all want to get rid of Daryl's too soon, I'm Tennessee with that. If they get in your way, just ship them on out with them. But growing up, I try to make the kids understand and respect the things that we had. But we should be able to do something here. The Bible says in Titus, let me read you a verse here. Now, you're sitting here today, you're saying, what does all this apply to me? I'm up in years. As I drive around Arizona City, I look on the streets, and I see there's a lot of kids walking these streets out here. A lot of young kids walking these streets, a lot of teenagers. You live here, you know them better than I do. But there's a lot. You work with kids. You work with first graders, is that right? You see a lot, don't you? You see a lot of home life, don't you? You see a lot of how kids are raised, don't you? My wife worked 26 years in the daycare. Crystal worked in the daycare before she came here. For a long time. Her and both of them worked in the daycare. So they saw how kids were raised. They see a reflection of their home life, of how they're raised. Whether you believe it or not, your children are a direct reflection of you in your life. Your grandkids are a reflection. What do we want to leave them? The Bible says in Titus that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, and charity and patience. It said the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. The aged women are to teach the young women how to love their husbands. Listen, we live in a day and time, not a lot of young girls know how to love their husbands. They have missed the point. The Bible says a man is to love his wife as Christ loved the church. And I sure would want God to love me the way that I have done some things in my life. Would you? I think that God's love is far above any of that. That He loved us regardless. But we're to teach our young girls to love their husbands. Crystal, when she was growing up, I've sat on the front porch and I've cried with her. I've talked with her. We used to have swing talks. You remember that, Crystal? And I know the peer pressure that was put on her as a teenager. And I know how she felt. And I know what the other girls in the community and school was telling her that she needed to do. But I'm thankful that she stood solid and then give in to what they were asking her to be a part of. So you see, it's very important that we try to share with our young people the things of God so that we can leave for them a heritage that they can be proud of. And in marriage, there's a whole lot of things cause a lot of problems in marriage, I guess. Here in Arizona, you wouldn't know anything about this. But a chip, you ever had a chip in the windshield? No, y'all don't ever have that. I have never replaced a windshield in my vehicle until I brought my truck to Arizona. And I hadn't been here very long when there was a chip in my windshield. And let me say this, working for a trucking company, we used to fix those chips. We used to have a man come in and he would repair those chips before that windshield would crack. In life, there's many chips comes our way. There's many chips happen. There's many little things that happen. It's important that we learn to repair those chips before they become cracks. So in marriage, when something chips your marriage, before it has a chance to split it or whatever, teach our young people to fix the chip. Because God in His Word has provided a way, and He has commanded that we forgive, that we love, that we cherish. And God will reward us in our life if we will learn to do those things, to be forgiven. Faye said to forgive me for a lot of things. Like I told you, we got married and I was 19 years old, and I was pretty strong-willed at that time. But anyway, she stuck by me, and she had to look over a lot of things that I did. Not that I ever looked over anything she did. Right? You agree? But anyway, but learn to teach. And here, you have an opportunity as a senior citizen, as a grandparent, whether it's your kids or the kids walking the street out here, is to help our generation. I am very concerned about our generation, about the young kids that are coming up today. Parents are not spending quality time with their kids. If you have an opportunity to sit down with your grandkids or your kids, spend quality time. Turn off the phone, or the TV, turn off the telephone, turn off all of these things that are grabbing the minds of our young people and our adults. So, same thing. You go to a restaurant, you sit down, there's 4 people sitting at the table, all of us got a phone, they don't ever talk. An interesting thing happened when Darla and Crystal, 25 years ago, she'd tell you about tonight. I remember the wedding very well. It was a great day. It was a happy day. It was a joyous day. It was a lot of fun. You'll get to see all that later. But it was a great day. We went out to eat with Crystal's mom and dad because we had to go back and clean up the church after the wedding was over. So we went out to eat, the 4 of us. We were dressed in our tux and we really looked good that day. We went into a restaurant, sat down, and the lady was waiting on us, and she asked a question, what's going on? What's going on? Well, our son just married their daughter, and you all are here together? See, that's the way society thinks that, and you all are here together? Yeah, we're here together. We're the best of friends. We're very happy that our daughter and their son can be united in holy wedlock today. So, this has been a great 25 years for us. Crystal's mom and dad were dear friends. Her dad, I miss her dad to this day. He passed away. I'm not sure how many years ago it's been, Crystal. 9 years. It don't seem possible. That's 2 years after they came here. But they were great friends. And I want you to do this. I want you to remember Crystal's mom. Really remember. Talk about praying for Jeremy. Pray for Crystal's mom. This is really a hard time for them. This is her grandson. It's Tracy's only son. And this is a hard time for them. It's really a hard time for them. So I want you to think about things. And what is love? What is love? What is love? It's caring, affection. It's love. God cared for us like no one else would care for us. We'll quit here in just 1 minute. I want to say this. This church has an influence in Arizona City. I did not move to Tennessee because I wanted to move to Tennessee. I moved because God said move to Tennessee. Now, had I not listened, Crystal would be sitting there today, and I wouldn't have the 3 grandkids that I've got. But God spoke to my heart and said move. Darrell came up to move to Arizona. Did it hurt us? We left here crying many a time. Because we were leaving here a whole lot of our life. But still realizing that this is where God put them. Even though it hurt when we would get on a plane and go back to Tennessee, especially when that one was 5, that one up there was 6, and Sarah was 10. I think that's the right ages when they moved here. And we had been blessed to keep those kids a lot in their young days. They used to love to come to my house. Didn't you, Rebecca? She's got memories. Sunday was a great day. That I would take the little ones, and there was 4 of them at the same age. I got one at his age, one her age back in Tennessee. And I would be able to go home on Sunday, we'd eat dinner, and I'd be able to take those kids. And I just had to go to bed and nap with them to make them be quiet. Those were a great day. And it was a great day when they stood up at church and hollered Papa when I was working in the sound room and hollered at Papa. Got in the middle of the church. Those were great days. But anyway, God brought Darrell and Crystal here to Arizona to start this church. Crystal never one time said, I'm not going to follow. Not one time. And I know it was hard for her because when they came here, they didn't know anybody. I know it was hard for the kids because they didn't know anybody. Not David, but Jacob, and I call him David a lot. I think Darrell does too. Anyway, Rebecca and Jacob were close enough in age to they could entertain each other. Sarah was 10 years old and had no friends. So I don't have to tell you how it was for them when they got started out here. We know. I had a great feeling for them. But God brought them here for a purpose. God brought them here to start this church. You're not here by accident. You're not here because you wanted to be here. You're because God had a reason for you to be here tonight. Darrell has a great heart. I have to say this. Crystal worked on the bus route at home. They have a great heart for young people. Darrell always had a heart for the older people. A lot of our older people in church, when Darrell left, missed him because that was God's given gift. That was God's given gift to be able to talk and to help and be around people and older people, from kids up. So you're not here, this church is not here by accident. God knew 50 years ago when we're married next year, I had no idea that I would have 2 boys, that I'd have a son who would be a preacher, that I would have 7 grandkids. I had no idea that 50 years ago, next May, when we got married, that this would be the future for me. I have to look back and see what God has done in my life. So I just want to encourage you to be a help to your family, to your neighbors, to the kids you see walking the street out here. And just give them attention. As a school teacher, let me ask you a question. What is the biggest need you see in kids?
Just need time with their parents, and they really, a lot of my kids don't go to church at all, so they need a place to go to church.
To be loved, am I right?
Yeah.
They just want to be loved. They just want to be loved. They just want to be loved. So, if you have an opportunity, and you have grandkids, I don't care how old they are, hug their neck sometime. They just want to be loved. They just want to be loved. Teenagers just want to be loved. They just want to be loved. They just want to fit in and be loved. And that's the greatest need that I see today in young people over the years, how things has went. And you don't have to give money, material things, and things like that to your kids to be loved or to show that you love. Just give them time. I regret in my life that I didn't spend as much time, that I didn't spend the time that I would like to have with Darrell and David as they grew up. Like I told you, I worked a lot of hours. God gave him a talent that he didn't know where it came from. I think it started with my dad. I think God allowed me to do things. And I think God just allowed Darrell to take him to another level. And his ability to go out and work and have the mind he has. I think that's a God-given gift. Just being able to have the talent to do things. So I just appreciate the opportunity to be here. Like I said, we wouldn't come here this time. But it was only because of their anniversary. We were only here for Living Monday. I wanted to be here for the 25th anniversary. It's their silver anniversary. But I don't want you to let them forget that next summer is our 50th anniversary. I came to be here for their 25th, but I came to tell you to remind them that we're going to have 50th. So that's the thing that I want to say. And Darrell has raised three. I don't have to tell you if you're around them all the time. Darrell has raised three great kids. I see in them when I saw Darrell and saw Christian. I see in them. I'm very proud. I wanted somebody in my family to be able to play the piano. I'm thankful that Rebecca is picking up and playing the piano. That to me is a gift. That's a gift from God that I wanted to see in my grandkids. Is the ability to play and sing and do things like that. Before I close, I appreciate the time to be here. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I don't know what's going to happen. They said we're going to have a meal when it's over.
We're starting at 10:30 Sunday, what we're doing.
Yep, start 10:30 Sunday morning. I won't go into detail. I'll let them tell you what was going on 25 years ago tonight. But I do catch up later. But anyway, before I close, Darrell and Chris, come right here and stand just a minute. I want to read something to them. And I got a text this afternoon. I want to read something to them. This ought to be worth a lot. It says, "Dear Mom and Dad, happy anniversary. I can't believe it's been 25 years. Dad, thank you." Now listen, is it important that you be in church? Does it influence the people around you? Does it influence your family? Are you looking for a way to stay home? Listen to this. Dad, thank you for your faithfulness and encouragement in the ministry, but also in my life because of your example and influence on others. You pushed me to be a better person and accomplish things that I find impossible. Mom, thank you for always being there for me because of your faithfulness to God, to ministry, Dad, and work. You pushed me to be everything I can. I'm sorry. I can be and never give up on what I started. You're such an example of Proverbs 31 lady, Christy. I hope you guys have the best anniversary yet. I wish I could be there in person. Come here, sir. Rebecca, read this. Start right there and read that.
I hope you guys have the best anniversary yet. I wish I could be there in person, but part of my heart is there with you as you celebrate this special day. I love you, not more than Jacob and Rebecca do, and just as much as Sarah.
That's from Sarah. That's from Sarah. I told you as teenagers, I encourage Proverbs 31. The other verses that I have tried to instill in my grandkids is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Lean not to your own understanding, but trust in God. And that's the verses that I want my grandkids to live by. I want them to lean on God, trusting God. That's what brought John and Crystal here to Arizona, is trusting God. I won't go back in detail. When they moved here, I know the heartaches, the hurts, and ups and downs, and all the things that went on before y'all ever came around. But God has seen them through it. I'm proud of them. I'm proud to be here today. I'm not in a lousy job tonight. Because when I got here, I had something totally different that I was going to do. But I want to thank the church for praying for our church back in Tennessee. Whenever Aaron and all of them came out there, our pastor had just resigned 1 week before that. We didn't have a pastor for 5.5 months, but we had God with us. We had the Spirit of God to be there with us. We didn't lose members. God kept the church going. And we have a pastor now, and I thank you for your prayers for our church. It's a sending church that brought you here to Arizona. You had something.
As a church,